Martha was the happiest woman in the village that evening. Her two sons, James and Daniel, were finally coming home, not just to visit, but to take her with them to the city. She had raised them alone after her husband's death, doing everything from selling vegetables to carrying heavy loads and working on people's farms, all to give them a better future. Now, after all her struggles and sacrifices, they were coming for her. 3 days earlier, James had called. "Mama, get ready," he said, excitement in his voice. "We're coming to pick you this weekend. We bought a big house in Laros. From now on, you'll live with us." Tears had filled Martha's eyes. "Oh, my son, thank you. God bless you both. We'll be there Saturday morning. Pack everything you want," he had added. That evening, Martha decided to visit her older sister, Rebecca. They hadn't spoken much in years, and their relationship was strained. Rebecca was known to be difficult, always bitter, always complaining, but Martha felt it was only right to tell her about the move. She tied her wrapper, stepped into the moonlight, and walked to Rebecca's compound. The cool breeze brushed her face as she knocked on the door. Rebecca looked surprised to see her. "You came to my house at this time? Hope no problem," she said. Martha smiled warmly. "No problem, my sister. I just came to share some good news." "Good news? You have money now?" Rebecca asked sarcastically. "Not money but joy," Martha replied, then sat and told her everything. "My sons are coming tomorrow to take me to Laros. They said I will never suffer again." Rebecca didn't smile. "They're taking you to the city? And no one told me. I'm telling you now. That's why I came. We'll stop by to greet you before we leave." Rebecca nodded slowly. "Okay. Safe journey." Martha stood up and hugged her. "I just wanted you to know." As she walked away, Rebecca stared after her, her eyes burning with jealousy. Her face twisted. "She wants to leave me and go enjoy life after all I've suffered? Me, the elder sister." She entered her room, shut the door, and didn't sleep that night. Around midnight, she quietly tied her scarf and slipped out through the back door, walking in darkness to the home of a native doctor, Baba Salako. She knocked. "Who is that?" came a deep voice. "Rebecca. I need your help." The door creaked open. Smoke filled the air. Baba Salako sat on a mat, white chalk smeared across his face. "Speak," he said. "My sister's sons are coming to take her away. They're rich now. She'll leave me and forget me. What do you want me to do?" "I want those boys to hate her. Let them reject her. Let them choose me instead." The native doctor looked at her silently, then reached for a calabash and poured black powder onto a cloth. "Do you have anything that belongs to them?" "No. But I'll make sure they eat in my house tomorrow." He nodded. "Good. Mix this in their food. Don't let your sister find out. Once they eat it, their hearts will change." Rebecca took the powder with trembling hands and paid him. "Make sure it works." "It will," he said. "But remember, whatever you plant, you'll harvest." She didn't care. She left before morning, her eyes full of dark determination. By 10 a.m., James and Daniel drove into the village. Their SUV glistened under the sun. Villagers gathered to welcome them. Martha ran forward, tears in her eyes. "My sons, you kept your promise." "Mama, you look young," Daniel said. "I've been counting the days," Martha replied, smiling. "Come inside. Rest. I cooked your favorite soup." Inside, they laughed and reminisced. After the meal, Martha spoke gently. "Before we leave, please go and greet my sister, Rebecca. She asked after you." James frowned. "Do we have to?" "That woman never cared about us." "She didn't even call when I graduated," Daniel added. "Please," Martha said. "She said she made something special." James sighed. "Okay, but just a quick visit." "Good," Martha replied. "I've packed my bags. I'll be waiting." They got in the car and drove to Rebecca's house. She was already waiting, having seen their car pass. She had reheated the food she prepared earlier. When they arrived, she greeted them with open arms and a forced smile. "My children, what joy!" "Good morning, Auntie," James said stiffly. Daniel managed a small smile. "Mama said you wanted to see us." "Yes," Rebecca said. "Come inside. I made something for you." They entered. The room smelled of pepper soup and freshly cooked jollof rice. Sit. Eat. This is your home. James hesitated. Thank you, but we already ate. Mama made yam porridge. Rebecca's expression hardened. So, you ate your mother's food but won't touch mine? No, it's not like that, Daniel said. We're just in a hurry. Just taste it, she insisted. Or are you saying my food isn't good enough? James sighed. Okay. Just a little. They sat and took a few bites. Rebecca watched carefully. She had added the powder, invisible and tasteless, just as instructed. The food was delicious. Daniel ate more. James tried to stop, but Rebecca pushed more chicken onto his plate. 10 minutes later, everything changed. James dropped his spoon. His chest felt tight. Daniel rubbed his forehead, confusion clouding his thoughts. Warm memories of their mother began to fade, replaced by unease. Rebecca leaned closer. Do you know why I called you here? They looked at her. I'm your mother's only sister. But she never told you the truth. What truth? James asked. Your mother is the reason your father died, she whispered. They stared at her. He was healthy. Then suddenly gone. No sickness. No warning. And she buried him so fast. No questions, no investigation. Daniel frowned. That was years ago. Yes. And before he died, he told me he suspected her. She kept visiting a native doctor behind the farm. He said if anything happened to him, it would be her doing. Her words wrapped around them like fog. The powder was working. Doubts took root. Things they never questioned now felt suspicious. Whispers. Secrets. Silence. But Mama raised us with love, Daniel said. She did because she felt guilty, Rebecca replied. That woman has a dark past. I've stayed quiet, until now. James stood. Face unreadable. Daniel looked at him. Let's go. Rebecca nodded. It's fine. Just think about what I've said. Don't let lies lead you. Back at Martha's house, she sat on a bench in her best outfit, her small bag by her side. She smiled brightly when she saw them. My sons, welcome. Let me get my Bible. James didn't smile. Daniel looked away. Is everything okay? Martha asked. James crossed his arms. We've changed our minds. She blinked. What? Daniel cleared his throat. We think Auntie Rebecca needs us more. What are you saying? Martha asked softly. I thought we planned everything. James looked at her coldly. We don't want to take you anymore. Tears filled her eyes. Did I do something wrong? Neither answered. She stepped closer, holding James' hand. You're my first son. Look into my eyes. What happened? He pulled his hand away. You're not the woman I thought you were. You think I'm a bad person? She asked, voice cracking. Daniel whispered. Auntie Rebecca told us everything. We know the truth. What truth? Martha asked, barely breathing. That you lived our father. She trembled. You believe that? James turned away. Daniel hesitated, meeting his mother's eyes, but the powder still clouded his heart. Go, Martha whispered. If that's what you want. But I know the truth. One day you will too. They left. She sat in silence, then rose slowly and walked to the graveyard. At her husband's grave, she knelt and wept. Peter, I trusted her. I didn't know she hated me so much. She's turned our sons against me. They don't see me the same. I should have listened. They didn't want to go to her. I forced them. Now look what I've done. She placed her hands on the cement. They say I caused your death. Me? You're Martha? If I truly did, call me to join you. But if I didn't, speak for me. Fight for me. This pain is too much. She stayed there a long time, crying, whispering, begging. Then she rose, wiped her tears, and went home quietly. 2 weeks passed in the city. One evening, Daniel sat beside James. After a long silence he spoke. What we did to Mama. It was wrong. James didn't respond. She suffered for us, Daniel continued. Raised us alone. Gave everything. And now we left her behind. Brought someone else who never cared about us. It's not fair. James looked up, frowning. I'm not interested in this talk right now. Daniel sighed but didn't walk away. She's our real mother, our biological mother. Even if she was wrong, we should have at least listened to her. We judged her without knowing the full truth. Daniel's voice cracked with emotion. I said I'm not interested, James snapped, rising to his feet. Daniel sank into his seat, hurt and disappointed. Unbeknownst to them, Rebecca had been standing silently in the hallway. She'd heard everything. Her eyes blazed with fury. Storming into her room, she snatched her phone and dialed quickly. Baba Salako, she hissed. I thought you said the charm would work on both of them. Why is that foolish Daniel suddenly remembering his mother? Why is he still talking about her? Baba's voice was calm. I told you the powder was powerful, but not permanent. Maybe his heart is too pure. It's not affecting him the same way anymore. Rebecca was livid. This is not what we planned. I haven't finished what I started, and now he's spoiling everything. You have to do something fast. We'll need a stronger charm, Baba replied. But it'll cost more. Give me enough money, and I'll prepare one that causes confusion between them. It'll turn them against each other. James will hate Daniel. Rebecca's face twisted into a satisfied grin. Perfect. Do it. Use anything you want on James. Just stop Daniel before he ruins my plans. Baba reassured her. I'll give you something. Put it in James's food. He'll start seeing Daniel as a threat. Rebecca laughed wickedly. Thank you, Baba. That's exactly what I need. She ended the call, dancing in her room with excitement. Meanwhile, in the village, Martha woke up drained and weak. Her eyes were swollen from weeping through the night. It had been weeks since she'd heard from her sons. No calls. No visits. Nothing. Still, she needed a few essentials. Salt, matches, a small bottle of kerosene. Stepping out into the blazing sun, she walked through the village. People stared at her strangely. Some whispered. Others avoided her eyes. She ignored them and kept moving. At the small shop by the junction, she greeted the shopkeeper gently. Good afternoon, my son. Please, I need salt and matches. The man looked at her with disgust. I'm not selling to you. Martha blinked. What? Why not? He stepped back and scowled. Because you're a witch. You killed your husband. You think we don't know? Your sister told the whole village before she left. Evil woman. Take your cursed money and leave. She stood frozen. You actually believe that? Get out, he shouted. Don't ever come near my shop again. Martha turned and walked away, silent tears rolling down her face. Her heart ached. God, what kind of life is this? What did I do to deserve such pain? My own sister turned my children against me. Now people believe I killed my husband. Her voice broke. All I ever wanted was to share good news with her. I thought she'd be happy for me. But she took everything, even my dignity. She continued walking slowly until a gentle voice called out from behind her. Mama, are you okay? Turning around, she saw a beautiful young woman in her 20s walking toward her with genuine concern in her eyes. Mama, please, talk to me. Why are you crying? Martha looked at her with trembling lips. I went to buy salt and matches. But the shopkeeper said I'm a witch. He said I killed my husband. That my sister told the village. My sons believed her too. They left me. I have no one now. The girl stepped closer, holding Martha's hand gently. Mama, don't cry. I've heard the things people are saying, but not everyone believes them. She gave a kind smile. My name is Blessing. I just returned from youth service. I studied in the city. I'm home with my parents for now, still looking for a job. Martha looked at her surprised. Blessing continued softly. My mother told me about you. She said you're a good woman. That you suffered so much to raise your sons. That you were quiet, kind, and hardworking. She never believed the lies. She said your sister was jealous of your progress. Martha's eyes welled with tears again. Your mother said that? Yes, Mama. Just a few days ago. Martha sobbed gently, but this time with a little hope. God bless you, my daughter. You don't know what your words mean to me. You are beautiful, respectful. You will marry a good man, a billionaire. Your home will be filled with peace. You'll never suffer. Blessing smiled. Amen. Mama. Thank you. Mama, please give me the money. I'll go back to the shop and buy everything for you. You go home and rest. Don't worry about those people. Leave them to God. Martha handed her the money. Thank you, my child. You're the only light in this darkness. It's okay, Mama, Blessing said warmly. Let me go quickly before the shop closes. I'll bring everything to your house. Martha nodded gratefully. God will reward you, my daughter. I'll be back soon. Please go and rest, Blessing replied. Martha walked back home slowly, but her heart was lighter. Someone still saw her as a mother. Someone believed in her. That gave her enough strength to keep going. Back in the city, Rebecca sat comfortably in her luxurious living room. Her eyes followed James as he worked on his laptop. She had waited long enough. It was time to act again. Clearing her throat, she spoke calmly. My son, aren't you tired of your brother working under you? James looked up, puzzled. What do you mean, Mama? I mean, Daniel is older than you. He should be the one supporting you, not the other way around. Think about it. You own the company, yet he works under you. He lives in your house, eats your food, spends your money. Do you really think he respects you? James leaned back, her words slowly sinking in. She continued smoothly. He's older than you but still depends on you. His age mates are married, raising children, living in their own homes. And he's still under your roof, acting humble on the outside, but jealous inside. James blinked, something shifting in his expression. I never thought about it that way. Actually, my girlfriend once said the same thing. That Daniel's too comfortable under me. Like he's waiting for me to fail. But I didn't take her seriously. Rebecca nodded approvingly. Now you understand. You've done more than enough for him. It's time he finds his own path. James looked away, lost in thought. So what do I do? Remove him from your company. Ask him to move out. He's not a child anymore. James nodded slowly. You're right. He's been under me for far too long. Rebecca smiled wider. Good. Listen. Michael is still in the village. He's loyal, hardworking, and humble. Bring him here. Make him your new manager. At least he'll respect you. James rubbed his chin. That might actually work. I'll think about it. Later that day, Daniel returned from a meeting. Tired but calm, he greeted his brother. James, how did the team react to the new policy? James stood still. We need to talk. Daniel raised an eyebrow. Okay. About what? I've decided to remove you as the company manager. Daniel stared at him in disbelief. What? From today, you're no longer in that position. I'll find someone else. Also, I want you to move out of this house. Daniel took a step back, stunned. James, what are you saying? Where's this coming from? James's voice grew sharp. Don't ask questions. It's my company. My house. My decision. Daniel's heart pounded. Is this Mama Rebecca's idea? This is my idea, James snapped. Don't drag her into this. Just do as I said. Daniel shook his head slowly. James, I've stood by you since day one. We built this together. I've supported you through everything. Why now? Exactly, James said coldly. You've stayed too long. You're too comfortable. You need to go and build your own life. Daniel stared at him, then spoke quietly. This isn't you. Something's wrong. You've changed. If I've changed, James replied, then it's for the better. Daniel sighed. You're being controlled. One day you'll realize the truth. James laughed bitterly and turned away. Spare me the drama. You've already entered the lion's den. Don't act like a goat now, Rebecca snapped, her voice cold and sharp. Michael lowered his eyes, his hands nervously rubbing against each other. He had never seen this level of determination in his mother's face before. Her eyes burned with ambition. Just do as I say, she continued. You're not stealing. You're taking back what belongs to us. That company was built with your uncle's help, and he was pushed out like trash. This is justice. Michael nodded slowly, unsure but too deep in to back out now. Back in the village, Daniel sat under the mango tree outside with Martha and Blessing. The late afternoon sun cast a golden glow across the compound. Martha looked peaceful, and Daniel was starting to feel lighter. Being home, surrounded by honesty and care, was healing wounds he didn't even know he had. Blessing stood to leave. "Mama, I'll come back tomorrow with vegetables. I'll help you with the soup." "God bless you, my daughter," Martha said warmly. Daniel smiled at her. "Thank you again, Blessing. For everything." She smiled back, shy but genuine. "It's nothing, Daniel. It's good to see your mother smiling again." As she walked away, Daniel watched her until she disappeared down the path. He turned to his mother. "She's special, Mama." "She is," Martha said softly. "God brings people at the right time." Meanwhile, in the city, James sat at his desk, staring at the financial reports in front of him. His forehead was creased, but not from confusion, just fatigue. His eyes scanned the figures, but nothing looked strange to him. He nodded slowly and signed off on the documents. Across from him, Michael stood quietly, hiding the nervous beat of his heart. He had made the first adjustment today, a small shift in the accounts, just as his mother instructed. And James hadn't noticed. That night, Rebecca lit a white candle in her room and placed a small charm beneath James's name written on paper. She whispered ancient words Baba had taught her and blew out the flame with a satisfied grin. "Let his eyes see only what I allow," she murmured. "Let his mind remain in the dark." In the days that followed, James grew colder. He barely smiled. His temper was short, and he spent more time alone. Rebecca noticed it with pride. Everything was going exactly as planned. In the village, Daniel had started helping local farmers. He would go to the market early with Martha and sometimes walk with Blessing to her mother's stall. People who once mocked him now greeted him with quiet respect. One morning, as he swept the compound, Martha came out with a letter in her hand. "Daniel," she said, holding it out. "This came for you." The postman said it arrived from the city. He opened it slowly, eyes scanning the contents. It was a legal document. A notice about the company. Something wasn't right. He read it twice, then looked at Martha. "Something's wrong, Mama. This paper. It says I'm no longer a shareholder. But I never signed anything." Martha's face tightened. "Rebecca," she whispered. Daniel clenched the letter in his fist. "She's going too far." He stood in silence for a moment. The anger that once made him walk away was now transforming into purpose. "I won't let her destroy everything we built, Mama," he said quietly. "She may have turned James against me, but she won't take what belongs to us." Martha nodded, her eyes filled with a quiet strength. "Then it's time to fight, my son. But not with hate. Let the truth be your weapon." Daniel looked into the distance. For the first time in weeks, he felt clear. The war had begun, but this time he would not run. "Do you want to return to the village and start farming again?" Rebecca asked sharply. "This is your chance to be wealthy, to own land, drive fine cars, and become a man of status in the city." Michael sighed, deeply torn. "Okay, Mama. I'll do it. But I'll be careful." Rebecca smiled with satisfaction. "That's my boy. Start small. Move just a little money at first. Fake some expenses, report purchases that were never made, say suppliers increased their costs. Make it look real and don't be greedy." That same week, Michael began the plan. He slipped a fake repair fee into one department's records. The next day, he claimed a company van had broken down and needed a new tire. The accounts department paid it without hesitation, and James didn't question a thing. The funds were quietly redirected into a hidden account. Each day, Michael added a little more. Transport claims that were never issued, inventory losses that never happened, and delivery charges that didn't exist. James remained relaxed and trusting, fully confident in Michael. Every night, Michael reported his progress. "Mama, I moved 45 million naira today." Nobody noticed. Rebecca clapped her hands, thrilled. "Good. Keep going. Nice and slow. By the time James realizes what's happening, we'll already be rich." That evening, James was alone in the living room when Sophia walked in. She hadn't seen him in days and came hoping to talk, to reconnect. But the moment she stepped inside, she noticed the coldness in his eyes. He barely acknowledged her. She sat quietly and said, "James, we need to talk." He looked up, unmoved. What is it? Sophia hesitated, then spoke. What you did to your brother wasn't right. I know I once doubted him, but he's still your blood. Daniel was your elder brother. Even if you wanted him out, you should have helped him. Given him some support, a share of the business, something. James frowned. This is family business. Sophia. Stay out of it. She was stunned. I'm not giving an opinion. I'm telling you the truth. What you did was cruel. James suddenly stood, his voice rising. Stay out of this, you gold-digging Jezebel. Sophia stood too, eyes wide with disbelief. What did you just call me? I said you're a gold digger, James snapped. Daughter of a poor farmer. Don't pretend to love me. I know your type. You're here to marry me and grab my money. Her voice trembled. After everything I've done for you? After standing by you when no one else did? You call me a gold digger. James scoffed. Don't think I don't know your plans. You can never come between me and my mother. We are solid. Sophia shook her head slowly. You should be ashamed, James. You abandoned your real mother in the village and now worship Rebecca like a god. The same woman who turned you against your own family. You're blind. James sneered. If that's how you feel, leave. I don't need you. Sophia's voice cracked. You've changed. You're not the man I fell in love with. She turned toward the door, her final words cold. Go to hell, James. We're done. She stormed out. James sank back into the couch, muttering, Nonsense. She was never loyal. Moments later, Rebecca entered from the hallway, pretending she had just arrived. I heard everything, she said calmly. You did well, my son. That girl is toxic. She doesn't deserve a place in your life. James nodded. It's over, Mama. She insulted me, that's enough. Rebecca smiled. No one can divide us. You are all I have. James replied. Don't worry. No one can destroy what we have. Rebecca cleared her throat and said, Now that things are going smoothly, I want to ask something. I think it's time. James looked at her. What is it, Mama? She smiled again. Michael has been working hard for your company. And I've done a lot for you too. It's time we're rewarded. I want you to buy a house for me and another for Michael. And cars for both of us. James blinked. Mama, slow down. I'm not saying I won't do it. But business is tough right now. Contracts are delayed. Money isn't flowing like before. Just give me 6 months. I'll make it happen. Rebecca's smile vanished. She frowned. 6 months? Are you serious? After everything I've done for you, you can't buy me a house. James raised his hands in defense. I'm not refusing. I said I'll do it. Just not immediately. Rebecca stood up sharply and walked off without another word, slamming her door behind her. James sat in silence, rubbing his forehead. Everything was becoming overwhelming. The company's finances weren't making sense anymore. Sales were dropping. Money seemed to be vanishing. And now Rebecca and Michael were asking for more than ever. What James didn't know was that Michael had been stealing larger amounts each week. The charm from Baba was slowly weakening, but still kept him blind. That night, James had a strange dream. He saw his father standing beside a deep well, dressed in a white shirt, eyes full of sadness. He pointed behind James. When James turned, he saw his real mother Martha, crying in chains. Rebecca sat on a golden throne, laughing loudly. He woke up drenched in sweat, his heart racing. What kind of dream was that? The next morning, he told Rebecca. She laughed. It's just stress, my son. Ignore it. But James couldn't ignore it. Something in him had shifted. He began to feel unsettled. After he left for work, Rebecca sat alone in the living room, furious. That boy dared to tell me to wait 6 months? She muttered. After everything I've done? She picked up her phone and dialed Baba Salako. The charm is fading, she snapped. James is no longer behaving. I asked for houses and cars. He refused. Said I should wait. Baba's voice was calm. My daughter, everything has a season. You've done enough damage. You've turned him against his real mother. You've taken so much. Let them be. Rebecca hissed. Is that why I paid you all that money? You promised me full control. I've changed, Baba replied. I've given my life to God. I don't do charms anymore. Rebecca's voice rose. You what? You've given your life to God? What happens to all our plans? You want to ruin everything? I want peace, Baba said. I'm done destroying lives. I advise you to do the same. God punish you, she screamed. You're a useless man. May your God fail you. She ended the call and threw her phone aside. I can't believe this fool. Good thing Cecilia told me about a new Baba. More powerful. I'll visit him this weekend. Her eyes darkened with determination. James will remain under my control. I'll take everything he has. When I'm done, he'll be broken and useless. Then he'll crawl back to that wretched village to beg that foolish Martha and Daniel. She laughed aloud, her voice full of pride. Me and Michael will live in luxury. Everything James worked for will be ours. He has served his purpose. Now it's time to finish the job. She stood, smiling to herself. Rebecca, master planner, queen of strategy. No one outsmarts me. Meanwhile, in the village, Daniel sat quietly beside Martha outside their small home. The morning sun rose gently, casting a warm glow over the compound. He looked deep in thought. After a while he spoke. Mama, remember the land Papa gave us before he passed? 1 plot each for me and James. Martha nodded. I remember, my son. Daniel continued. I want to start farming on my land. I can't just sit around waiting. My friend in the city said he might get me a job in 2 months, but until then, I need to stay active. Martha smiled. That's a wise decision. This is why I love you so much. You're hardworking and responsible. May God strengthen you, and may your land yield richly, Martha said warmly. Daniel smiled. Amen. Mama. And may you live long to enjoy the fruits of your labor. She embraced him tightly. Go, my son. May the earth work in your favor. Daniel picked up his hoe and made his way to the plot of land his father had given him. As he looked around, he nodded to himself. This is it. He planted the blade into the ground, the early morning sun rising steadily behind him. Sweat quickly soaked his shirt, but he kept going. He cleared the weeds, marked the borders, and began the first trench for planting. Then his hoe struck something solid. He paused. What was that? Bending down, he brushed the dirt away with his hands. The object felt smooth and firm. Definitely not a root or a stone. He dug more carefully. As the soil parted, something began to glimmer. His eyes widened. What is this? He whispered. Dropping the hoe, he dug frantically with both hands. The glow became brighter. Finally, he pulled out a heavy, shining rock. Gold. Real gold. He gasped, stunned. No, this can't be. His heart pounded. He dug deeper, and another piece appeared. Then another. And another. Within minutes, several large shining stones of gold lay before him. His knees weakened, and he dropped to the ground, trembling. Am I dreaming? He rubbed his eyes. No, it was real. He had seen raw gold before. This was exactly the same. Emotion swelled in his chest. I was rejected. I was insulted. I was called useless. And now this. He stood and stepped back, staring at the earth that had just changed his life. This is Papa's land. The land he gave me. It's been waiting for me. He fell to his knees, tears pouring down. Thank you, God. Thank you. He gently wrapped the gold in a sack, making sure no one would see it. Clutching one piece tightly in his hand, he ran home. Martha was still outside when he arrived. Mama, he called breathless. She turned, alarmed. What is it, my son? Please, sit down. I have something to show you. Worried, she sat. Daniel opened his hand and placed the stone in her palm. Look, he said, trying to catch his breath. She stared at it. What is this? It's gold, Mama. I found it on Papa's land while digging. Her hands trembled. Are you sure? Yes, Mama. There's more. I brought just one piece. The rest is still there. Tears spilled down her cheeks. Jehovah, God of justice. So this is how you answer prayers. This is how you fight for those who are innocent. Daniel hugged her tightly. We're not poor anymore, Mama. This is just the beginning. They cried together. Tears of relief, of joy. Later that day, Daniel returned to the land. He dug carefully, collecting more gold, making sure not to attract attention. He planned to visit the city quietly, get it verified by a professional, and register the land legally. But deep down, he knew this wasn't just about wealth. It was a divine sign, a reward for his endurance, a light after a long stretch of darkness. Meanwhile, Rebecca was growing desperate. Everything around her was collapsing. James had refused to buy her and her son a house. Even the old native doctor, Barbara Sulaco, had rejected her and claimed he'd now given his life to God. Nothing was going as planned. But she wasn't ready to quit. Early the next morning, she carried a leather bag and headed toward a remote part of the city. She reached a small, hidden hut, the home of a new native doctor her friend had recommended. "Good morning, Baba," she said. He scanned her from head to toe before responding. After a pause, he asked, "What do you want?" "Baba, I want my nephew gone. I want him completely out of the way. His house, his company. I want it all. I want him erased." His eyes narrowed. "Gone? As in how?" Her voice lowered. "Mad, vanished, or dead, I don't care. I want him gone. Me and my son Michael will take over everything." He stayed silent for a moment, then stood and walked to the back of the room. He returned with a small black pot. "This charm is dangerous. If you misuse it, the consequences are irreversible. You must follow my instructions exactly." "I don't care," Rebecca said coldly. "I've come too far." He gave a long sigh. "Then listen closely. Tomorrow morning, rub this black powder into your palms. If James opens the door and sees your face first, his mind will shatter instantly." Rebecca smiled. "Perfect. He's always the first to wake up. I'll be outside before 5:30. I'll wait. He'll see me." The native doctor raised a finger. "One warning. If anyone else sees you first, the charm will bounce back and destroy you. You could go mad or worse." She waved it off. "I know his schedule. No one wakes before him. I'll be there early." He handed her the pot. "Use it carefully. Make sure his eyes are the first to meet yours." Rebecca returned home, feeling victorious. She ran to her room, locked the door, and placed the charm on her table. "James," she whispered to herself, "your time is up. You thought I would wait 6 months for you to settle me? Never. By morning, everything you have will be mine." That night, Martha sat in her room, hands trembling as she turned the pages of her Bible. Sleep would not come. Her heart ached. She climbed down from the bed and knelt to pray. "Lord," she whispered, "please protect my son James. I don't know what's going on, but I know something is wrong. Open his eyes. Save him from every evil hand. Let no weapon against him succeed." Tears streamed down her cheeks as she continued, "And Daniel, please bless him too. That boy has suffered. Let what he found be real gold. Let it bring us out of shame, out of poverty. I have nothing but you. My name has been dragged. My sons turned away. My sister destroyed my home. Lord, please fight for me. Lift my sons up. Let my enemies live to see that you never abandon the innocent." That night, heaven heard her. James was asleep. The time was 4:55 a.m. His alarm was set to go off in 5 minutes. He shifted slightly in bed, stretching. A soft whisper tickled his ear. "Don't wake up. Sleep a little more. Get up at 6. Or don't go at all. You're the boss, remember?" James half opened his eyes and smiled drowsily. "That's true," he mumbled. "I'm the boss. I can rest a bit longer." He turned over and slipped back into sleep. At that exact moment, Rebecca stood motionless outside his bedroom door. It was exactly 5:00 a.m. She clutched the charm calabash tightly, hidden beneath her wrapper. Her heartbeat raced, but her eyes stayed fixed on the door. She whispered, "Just a few more seconds. He'll open the door. He'll see me. Everything will be mine." A faint smile crossed her lips as she waited. But just then, footsteps echoed behind her. A sleepy voice called out, "Mama, good morning. What are you doing here?" Startled, she turned. "Michael? Why are you awake?" "I forgot to iron my shirt last night," he said, yawning. I wanted to press it before James wakes up. Rebecca froze. Michael's eyes dropped to the calabash in her hand. What's that? What are you holding? Before she could answer, the charm began to tremble. It shook violently as if alive. She screamed and dropped it. The calabash shattered, and a thick, dark smoke poured out, swallowing the corridor. Michael screamed in confusion. Mama! What is this? Inside, James jumped out of bed at the sound of chaos. He rushed to the door and opened it to find Rebecca and Michael screaming, clutching their heads in agony. What's going on? What are you two doing in my house? They looked up. Their eyes were bloodshot and wild. James stepped back. Where is my mother? Where is Daniel? Rebecca dropped to her knees. Her voice trembled. I'm sorry, James. Please forgive me. It was all me. I turned you against your mother. I lied about everything. I drove Daniel away. Baba helped me control your mind. I only wanted what you had. Your house. Your company. Forgive me. Michael, crying now, added, I just followed my mother. I didn't know it would come to this. I swear I didn't. James stood motionless, stunned as the truth poured out. I only wanted to take Martha's place, Rebecca confessed, her voice cracking. I couldn't bear to see her happy. I wanted her gone. James lowered his hands slowly. Leave, he said quietly. They didn't move. I said get out, he shouted. Suddenly, both screamed, holding their heads in pain. My head. I can't see. And just like that, they ran, barefoot, yelling strange words. James watched in shock as they charged out of the house like people possessed. Then a car, speeding down the street, struck both of them. The road fell silent. Their bodies lay still. Inside, James sank to the floor, trembling. The world felt unreal. He called the security guard. Please, what just happened? Where's Daniel? Where is my mother? The guard gave him a sad look. Sir, don't you remember? James shook his head. No. Nothing. The man sat beside him gently. You chased Daniel out. You sacked him. You called him useless. You slapped him one morning for opening the gate too late. You stopped talking to your real mother. You abandoned her in the village. You called her a witch. You brought Rebecca here and called her your mother. You made her son the manager. James's face went pale. No. No, that can't be. There's more, the god said. Sophia came one day. She pleaded with you to help your brother. You insulted her. Called her a gold digger. Chased her away. Told her never to speak badly of Mama Rebecca again. James broke down. Oh God, what have I done? I turned against my own mother. I hurt my brother. I trusted a stranger. He cried out. Mama, I'm sorry. Daniel, please forgive me. He rose to his feet. I have to go. I must see my mother. He looked upward. God, if my mother ever cried because of me, forgive me. I was blind. Far away in the capital, Daniel had completed everything he planned. The gold was real. Undeniably real. He had sold a portion through trusted merchants who helped verify its value. What he earned was enough to transform his life completely. He bought a beautiful house in the heart of the city. Peaceful. Serene. A place he had once only imagined. The first thing he did was return to the village for his mother. Your suffering is over, Mama, he said, smiling as he helped her pack. Martha couldn't stop crying. You came back for me. You didn't forget. Daniel hugged her tightly. How could I ever forget you? You're everything to me. He turned to Blessing, the kind-hearted girl who had stood by his mother through everything. Pack your bags. You're coming with us. You're family now. Blessing's eyes filled with tears. Thank you, Daniel. I just did what I believed was right. And heaven saw it, Daniel replied. You'll be rewarded for your kindness. When they arrived in the city, Daniel handed Martha the keys to a brand new car. That same day, he turned to Blessing. I know we haven't known each other long, he said, but the way you loved my mother when no one else did, that tells me everything. I love you, Blessing. Will you marry me? She said yes through tears. Their wedding was simple but beautiful. The three of them became one family. A truly happy family. Back in the village, James arrived at the home he had grown up in. He looked exhausted. His eyes were red from the long journey, from endless tears. He knocked on the door. No answer. He tried again. Still silence. The house looked deserted. He sat on the front step, unsure of what to do. Just then, an old man passed by and paused. "Are you looking for someone?" he asked. James stood quickly. "Yes, sir. My mother. My brother. They lived here." The man smiled. "You must be James." "Yes. Please, are they safe?" The old man nodded. "Very safe. In fact, better than safe." James blinked. "What do you mean?" "Your brother found gold on your father's land," the man explained. "Real gold. A lot of it. He sold some. Bought a big house in the capital. Took your mother with him. They left weeks ago. He even married that young girl, Blessing. The one who stayed by your mother's side." James couldn't speak. His mouth hung open. The old man shook his head. "You lost everything because of lies. You forgot who you were. But your brother didn't." James held his chest, breathing hard. "Do you know where they are? Their address?" "I don't," the man replied. "But I have something better." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a slip of paper. "This is Daniel's number. He gave it to me the last time he came." He handed it over and walked away. James stared at the paper, his hands shaking. He sat back down, holding it like it was his last hope. "Oh God," he whispered. "After everything, he still made it." He looked up. "Mama. Daniel. I'm coming. I just want to make things right." In the city, James stood at the park, clutching the number. His fingers trembled as he dialed. The phone rang once. Then again. Then, "Hello." Daniel's voice. James froze. That voice. It hit him right in the heart. "Daniel. It's me. James." Silence. "Please don't hang up," James pleaded. "I know I don't deserve anything from you. But I'm sorry. I was blind. I hurt you. I hurt Mama. I hurt Sophia. Please, I just want to see you." There was a pause. Then Daniel spoke, voice calm. "Where are you?" "I just arrived in the city." "Then come to Abuja. Come home. Mama and I are waiting." James broke down. "Thank you, Daniel." "Thank you." Later that evening, James stood at the gate of a beautiful home. He was stunned. It was beyond anything he had ever seen. The front door opened. Daniel stood there, dressed neatly, smiling. Beside him was Martha, radiant in a white gown. James couldn't hold back. "Mama," he whispered. "My son," she replied, eyes filled with tears. He ran to her, dropped to his knees. "Forgive me, Mama. I don't deserve your love. I left you. I believed lies. I abandoned you." Martha knelt beside him and lifted his face. "You weren't yourself, my son. I forgave you the day you left. A mother's love doesn't die." Daniel stepped forward and placed a hand on his shoulder. "We are family. And family forgives." The three of them embraced tightly. Blessing walked out from the kitchen, smiling warmly. "Welcome, brother," she said. James looked around the house. "It's beautiful." Daniel laughed. "It's your house too." That night, they sat together as one, laughing, talking, rebuilding what was once broken. 2 months later, James and Sophia were married. They lived happily ever after. Dear viewer, what lessons did you learn from this powerful story? Share your thoughts in the comments. If the story touched your heart, give it a like, share it with friends, and subscribe for more. Turn on the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching. Stay blessed.